Gentlemen, what brings me to my next point. Don't smoke crack.
Of course, those famous words were uttered by Lawrence Taylor and the Water Boy. And again, this is Tim with the Online Big Blue, bringing you the best of New York Giants sports talk and entertainment. I wasn't going to do a video here on Saturday because it is 4th of July weekend and we got a lot of things going on at Casa de Online Big Blue, but I thought of a joke. And I thought of a Giants joke. And I thought it was pretty funny. And it goes like this. I thought of it a couple days ago, but I didn't get a chance to do it. But it goes like this. Knock, knock. Who's there? Not Chris Mara, because he's out of the personnel department for the New York Football Giants. Of course, the news came down a couple days ago, but I didn't really report on it. But Giant fans had been sending me emails that Chris Mara is no longer listed as the team's on the team's official website as part of the player personnel department. So now he seems to be moving on. Tim McDonald is now the top man in the personnel department. His title is Director of Player Personnel, which is interesting. We also have the guy that they hired over, what's his name, Hickey from where did we hire him from? We hired him from the Dolphins. It's interesting because you know what? It's the Shane moving around the guys like he said he was going to. He's making changes. I wish he would have made changes before the draft. And I understand what the rationale was not making changes before the draft. I don't personally agree with them because people are like, well, you need continuity, you need consistency, but you still have the same guys making the same mistakes and the same decisions. So I'm happy. I can't say anything else more than that. Chris Mara has been in this position since 2011, and we've seen the drop off of the Giants since 2012. He's now listed as senior personnel consultant. Mara, of course, Chris Mara is. If you don't know, he was actually a scout with the Giants for their team, their 86 team and their 90 team. He's had a couple stint with the Giants. He then went to work with, I have to pull, let me pull up the bio. He went to work with, I think, a ProRate. It's an independent scouting service. He worked there till like 2001. And then he was the general manager of the New Jersey Gladiators of the Arena Football League. I actually went to a couple Gladiator games. I guess I'm not unproud to announce that. He then came back to the Giants and then was promoted in 2011 to what was then his current role as Senior Vice President of Player Personnel. If you want to track the downfall of the Giants, if you want to put your finger on certain things, and I'm not just blaming Chris Mara, but if you want to point your finger at certain things and say, this right here was a mistake that led to a 10-year plus downfall of this team, you have to point your finger at Chris Mara. You have to point your finger of him being promoted to Senior Vice President of Player Personnel. It's the Jerry Jones syndrome. Owners, family members, all think that they can do things that other professionals do. And I'm not saying that Mara couldn't, I'm not saying there aren't good owners out there who have relatives that work in the organization that do not help the organization, do not work for the organization. I'm not saying that, but I'm just saying if you want to take a look at the timeline, if you want to look at the time frame and say to yourself, this is where the struggle of the New York Giants truly started. You can blame the poor drafting of Jerry Reese. I would say that Jerry Reese gets a lot of crap, and I have to give Jerry Reese. I don't give Jerry Reese credit for the first Super Bowl win. I do give him credit for the second Super Bowl, 2011 Super Bowl win. I do give him credit for what was done draft-wise in 2007 and 2011, but he had a lot of swing and misses on a lot of his picks. Now, the question is, how much of those swing and misses were because of the scouting and the information given to him by Chris Mara? I'm just saying. I'm just throwing that out there. That's all I'm saying. But like I said, it's not big breaking news. It's not news that's going to shake the sports world. But it is news that I found interesting because you know what? It's just time to move on. It was time to move on. It's time that we've talked about this for years. It's time to move on. It's time to shake up this franchise. It's time to move forward. It's time to do something different. It's time to do something anew. It's time. I have one question though for people.
Who? Did you order the code red?
I did the job.
Did you order the code red?
You're goddamn right I did.
So you know what? Shane ordered the code red. He got Mara finally gone. He's moving forward. He's moving over. He's moving under. He's moving any direction you want to say. I'm not going to have probably any more videos until after the 4th. Potentially, I want to just say potentially, we have a big surprise coming up for the August 21st game, the preseason game. I'm going to the preseason game. OGR Sports is going to be there with me, along with our old buddy and subscriber, James Williams. So we're all going to be at the game. We're going to do the 40-yard pass challenge. We're after the end of the game, which we're going to film. I'm going to stand on the 35-yard line, and I'm going to drop a perfect bomb to James Williams 5 yards into the end zone. But we may have a surprise coming up in the next couple weeks for that August 21st game. It's kind of a big, you know, I don't want to sit here and just start, building up expectations. But if it works out and everything falls into place, it's a massive surprise. Massive. Dun, dun, dun. That's all we're going to leave it. And again, this is Tim with Online Big Blue, wishing everyone a happy and safe 4th of July weekend. And if you can always like, if you can subscribe, if you can ring that bell, you know what that means? That'd be awesome.